You've realized more hair on your pillow. When you touch your hair, you see there's more in your hand and you're wondering what's going on. I'm Zainab. I'm the pharmacist from PillSorted, and I'll explain the hair growth cycle, what are the usual reasons for hair loss, and how we can treat it. I'm going to start with explaining about the hair follicles and the biology behind it. It's normal to have around 50 to 100 hair strands falling per day. Okay, a normal hair growth cycle has got 4 phases. So how they start is from the hair follicle. There's around 100,000 hair follicles on our scalp. We are born with them, they don't grow again, and each hair follicle will grow 1 strand of hair at a time. Now, each strand of hair lives in the growth phase most of its life, between 5 years to 7 years. So 85% to 90% of the hair on your head is in the growth phase. Then there's a very short transition phase that's usually 2 to 3 weeks, and then it moves to the telogen phase, which is called the resting phase. In the resting phase, the hair is just sitting in the follicle and it can take up to 3 months. Then will come the next phase, which is shedding. The old hair strand falls out and the follicle starts growing a new one. So what I'm going to cover right now is different types of hair loss that happen. The most common hair loss is usually male and female pattern baldness. Both of these are genetic and both of these are a certain area of the head. For men, it usually starts with the receding hairline and it will gradually become less and less and usually ends up in baldness. For women, the same area happens, but it starts with the parting becoming wider and wider. So if it's parting in the middle or the side, they'll see it's wider and wider. Again, it's still the front area. It doesn't cause complete baldness usually in women. These are the most common ones. You can't reverse it, okay? But you can make it slow down drastically with medications. The second type of hair loss is called the telogen effluvium, and it can come up for multiple different reasons, and that's when your body feels stress. So after a major emotional or physical stress, what happens is a lot more of the hair cycle will be disrupted and a lot more of the hair follicles will end up in the resting phase. So they'll start shedding around 2 to 4 months after that event has finished. So one of the common ones for women is actually childbirth, certain illnesses, if it's been a stressful duration of, for example, work or home or that sort of thing. Those can all bring up the telogen effluvium. Another reason that's coming bringing up this type of hair loss is actually sudden weight loss, because your body counts that as a major stress as well. And what happens is your whole hair becomes thinner and starts shedding more. So another important one is an autoimmune sort of alopecia, and that shows up as very distinct, round, bold and smooth patches on the hair. So it can come up anywhere. It can be different kind of sizes. So it can be as small as like a pea-sized shape to as big as, the palm of your hand. These are autoimmune diseases and the treatment is quite different. Usually it needs steroid-based treatment, and it can happen in your eyebrows as well as your hair. Other than that, some things like chemotherapy or certain conditions like thyroid and diabetes can cause hair loss and hair thinning too, as well as other reasons like low on nutrients like vitamin D, zinc, vitamin B. All of these can cause hair loss, and iron. So now let's go on to how do we treat and how do we manage them. Usually if someone comes in and says, I see my hands getting full of hair, or I'm sure that my hair's got much thinner, it doesn't look as vibrant as it was, the first thing we need to do is do a blood test, because we want to make sure that we know if there's no problem with your thyroid, with your diabetes, with your blood cells. Also, we can see all the nutrients and all of that, because for women, again, hair loss can be one of the signs of low iron. Then we need to address all the underlying causes. So if the blood tests show low in iron, low in folic acid, vitamin D, that's what we need to fix first. And then we go into treatments. I brought one treatment here, minoxidil or Regain. Is actually actually a very effective medication. It can keep most of the hair in the growth phase. It is effective both for male and female pattern baldness is effective, as well as getting you through the telogen effluvium. The important hair shedding of telogen effluvium, it is temporary, okay? So we can fix it. And Regain is really good. The minoxidil is really good to help you with that. There's also Regain for men in different strengths as well. There's the 2%, there's the 5%, there's a foam version too that's easier to use. But as I mentioned, is good for both the male and female pattern baldness, as well as the temporary telogen effluvium treatment. When I say temporary, it's in months that we need to treat. So anything that you do for your hair strengthening or a hair improvement takes time, because the hair duration takes time to show itself. Okay, so for the minoxidil, it will take a couple of months for it to see the full effect. You see new hair sprouting, you see your hair becoming a bit stronger. And for male pattern baldness, there are more treatments as well, like finasteride. Sometimes it is prescribed for women too, but finasteride is very dangerous for babies, so that's why women that are in childbearing age will not be prescribed, or under a specialized consultants. So just a couple of general advice that's useful for any situation that you see that your hair is not strong enough or it doesn't feel the same. First of all, be gentle with it. Brushing your hair every day is really, really important. It does support your scalp and your hair follicles to stay strong, but don't brush it too hard. Do not put hairstyles that are too tight. And the other thing is, make sure that it's got enough nutrition and supplements on it. So if you're coloring your hair quite often, find the ones that are a good match for your hair, so they don't cause too much of a breakage in your hair. Make sure that you support your hair with all the things that it needs, like serum or natural oils, or even natural products like henna. They're good to put on your hair and they will help keep it strong. Take care of your scalp as well. So having scalp conditions like dandruff and seborrheic dermatitis and scalp psoriasis, these don't cause hair loss usually, but they cause a lot of itchiness and agitation, and that in turn can make you be scratching your hair, and that pulls up the hair. So be mindful, be careful. If there's treatments that you need, do it. There's a couple of things that I've brought here that are both prescribable by the NHS, but they're quite good and you can buy them yourself as well. These have got coal tar extracts, they've got coconut. They are a little bit smelly, but they're really good to use once or twice a week, and they will help support your scalp to stay strong. So this has got medication, it's called ketoconazole, and it's really helpful to treat dandruff. Again, this you need to put on once or twice per week. You leave it on for like just a couple of minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, and then you rinse it out completely, but it will help your scalp stay intact and strong. And then in turn, for your hair, make sure that you use something as a natural oil like coconut oil, argan oil, olive oil. These are amazing, that help your hair strands stay strong, not to break. And the other very important thing is, as we said, stress is one of the most important triggers that causes our hair growth cycle to be disrupted. Sleep management, rest is very important, and it does support the long-term health of our hair. What are the things that you need to look out for? If you feel that your hair is coming out in lumps, if you realize that there is a lump in your scalp that doesn't have any hair on it, if you see it's becoming really, really itchy and you can't make it get any better, or if you have other symptoms accompanied with the hair loss, like really being tired, feeling really, really cold, this might be some hormonal imbalances. So these are the important times to get checked by the doctors. So, and another important thing, there's lots of miracle shampoos out there, okay? And although some products that have got caffeine, that have got ginger, will help with growing the hair a little bit faster, but they can cause scalp irritation as well. Be very mindful that with fixing one, you don't destroy the other. Your hair and your scalp go hand in hand. As long as both of them are healthy, you will have the best outcome. Okay, and the recap is, hair loss is quite distressing, but there are lots of different reasons for it, and depending on those reasons, there's different treatments available. If you've got any questions about any of these, feel free to reach out for that clinician-led health advice. Thank you.